What's going on, folks? Today we are going to be looking at these gardenia. Some of them are growing really long and they're growing up into the lights and just getting kind of out of control. And I also want to get these into a little group planting so they're a little more compact. They take up a little less space because we got a big move coming up next summer, so I got to keep that in mind with all of these plants. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gardenias in here. We're gonna pull these guys out and check it out. Let's go. What's going on, folks? Today we're gonna be working on these gardenias. So what we're gonna do is try and fit these all into this large bulb pan. The reason I wanna get them into one pot here is because just like the bougainvillea, we got a big move coming up next summer. We wanna get this consolidated down so they take up less space and they're gonna be easier to move. And you know what? These might just look good as a forest and I might end up leaving them like that. So we'll see. But first of all, we gotta get these out of the pots and check them out. But let's come in for a closer look and check it out. Okay, folks, so here you can see the first tree. These are just a standard ornamental gardenia that you'd find at like a big box store. But I did take some cuttings off these 2 or 3 years ago and have had them going ever since. Now you can see in this video, these tend to have all this lateral growth down really low and they're very laterally dominant. So it's hard to keep that under control. You can see all these branches that I've pruned back down here, but I've kind of got it up toward the top now. If you check out this older video from this summer, you can see I've actually pruned these twice this year already, 2 or 3 times. I did let that lateral growth kind of grow out, so what I'm hoping is that's going to give us a little bit of taper down toward the base. So I think the trunk on these is looking kind of interesting, and we'll have to see what's going on once we get in here a little bit further. But I think these are turning out pretty interesting. So let's check the rest of these out. This is number 1, and we've got like 5 of these right now from the original cuttings. Now you can see this one obviously is kind of gotten really long too. This one's kind of leaned over in the pot, as you can see. These were actually grown as cuttings in these little mesh bags. That's how I started them out, and then I planted them into turfus and perlite. So you can see we got a little bit more of the same here. Obviously gonna have to rearrange the angle on that one a little bit. We'll see how it goes though. Let's get the next one in here. A lot of nice new growth on this as well. Here's another one. Looking pretty good. And then last but not least, this was actually a cutting that was taken maybe last summer. I took these cuttings. I'm not sure why these leaf tips are yellow. They are in a different soil mix here, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, but obviously you can tell these have grown quite a bit different than these as well. So we're going to dig in, find out what's going on with the roots, and get these guys pruned up. So let's get started. We're going to follow along with just this guy, and then we'll show you how the rest of them turned out there at the end. So I'm going to wait to trim these up until I get this out of here. Now the hard part is going to be picking out which branches to keep. I do feel like I am probably going to have to wire some of this growth. But let's start by just cutting back the stuff that we definitely don't want. So it looks like I'll probably change the angle to there. Am I going to want that? Yeah. I'll keep this for now. Keep this. This. You know, I think I'm just going to take this bigger branch all the way off. And, you know, I'm going to end up with a lot of cuttings today, but I'm not going to do anything with them, I swear. I've already got some cuttings back here of gardenia, so I'm going to show some restraint. Okay. Let's cut this one back to here, and then this back to here. All right, so I've got 3 coming out of the top spot here, and this one is just not looking quite as nice, so I think that's what I'm gonna take off from this middle section here. I think I'm gonna come in with a concave cutter for this one. Okay, so I think I'm going to put a little bit of wire on these just to get these guys I kind of want these, I think, like a broom style since they're so small. And just kind of figure it out from there. Oh wow, I'm just destroying this Ziploc. It's too much for me. There we go. All right, I am going to try and use some of this smaller wire. And it's just aluminum, so it should cut pretty easily. All right, so I'm going to take this little piece of wire. I don't know if it's going to be strong enough, but we can always go for a second wind if necessary. All right, it's the moment we've been waiting for. Let's get this guy out of the pot. We're gonna find out if these mesh bags really are biodegradable, and we're gonna see what the roots look like in this turfus. So, my tools are here. Let's soften things up a little bit here. And then we'll move in. Okay, not totally root bound, so I'm kind of surprised about that. I'll have to look. I think it's been 2 or 3 years. Not really totally root bound though. Decent roots, definitely decent roots throughout. So let's scrape this away and see what's going on. So it does not look, I'm gonna have to cut this bag off of here. That's unfortunate. We will see how many roots that we end up with after cutting this bag off of here, because it is not, let's see, can you even see that? So it is not biodegraded at all. All these roots have just come through the bag, but the bag is still fully intact. So I'm gonna cut the side of the bag. Cuts really easily. It looks like it's pretty much gonna tear all of these roots out though. All right, so these bags, I'm not loving this. Not loving the way this has worked out for me here. I'm sure that's not how they were intended to be used, but nonetheless, it's unfortunate. So it's kind of tearing away. So I would not use these bags again for bonsai. You can see it just like basically tore all the roots out. And I mean, geez, part of that bag's still in there. So it did okay. I wouldn't do it again though. All right, so I am gonna try and snip these branches that have come up from the base off and try and leave some taper. Now I am using the concave cutters, but I'm gonna try and leave some decent taper in there. All right, so you know that I was kind of, when I grew these, I was wondering, I'm like, is this bottom like lateral growth, is that, you know, robbing strength away from the top of the tree, or is it just going to add some taper to the base? So you know, it looks like it has added some taper. I think I would try that again just by leaving those. Okay, so I've got a piece of screen cut for the bottom of this, and I'm gonna get some bonsai soil in here. All right, folks, so there we've got one in here. It's got a little bit of taper at the base. It's kind of hard to see on this video, but I'll show it to you once we get all the rest of them in here. Okay, folks, so this is what we ended up with. You know, it's not really a forest planting, they're just all in here at the moment. So I took the tops off the two cuttings here and here. So, and that was to get them a little closer looking to what, I mean, you can definitely tell it looks like a different type of tree, and that might be cool for a forest to kind of see that there are different types of trees there as opposed to these kind of gnarlier looking trees. But you know, I think these are off to a good start. I really like it. I didn't wire them all up. This one could stand to go up a little. I did put some wire on this one. But yeah, so that's where we ended up. Everything's looking good. I think these guys will be fine in here for another year, another couple years. Gosh, the angle on that guy is really not great, is it? Try and fix that up. But thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time.